What's up? My name is Casey Budge, and this is the Oracle Podcast. And today I have an awesome book talk guest for you guys. I've got Brandon on. How's it going, Brandon?
It's going great. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Brandon makes some excellent content over on TikTok. I will bounce it over to him and let him tell you a little bit about the channel that he has and the content that he makes and the community that he is helping to build brick by brick on a Discord.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Brandon. I had a TikTok for a really long time, and then I started reading Red Rising, and it sparked me to make a bunch of random edits. I'm an ADHD reader, so like I see movie quotes and things as I'm reading or situations I just felt like making edits for. It's not anything new. People have been doing it for a long time, but met a bunch of cool dudes on there, formed a little book club. We call ourselves the committee. Well, they call themselves the committee, but I guess we are the committee. Then we started a Discord because we felt like we wanted more than just the book bros. We wanted everybody in and wanted everybody to have a spot to talk about whatever they wanted to talk about, hang out, chill, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, it's been really fun getting to be a little bit of a part of it. I've been super busy the past couple of weeks, so I haven't been as much of a part of it as some of you guys obviously have been. But it's been really cool just to even get to spectate some of the fun stuff that's going on there. It's been really fun.
It took off more than I thought it would, which was great, but we enjoy it. Everybody's civil, everybody's nice. We don't get into a lot of debates, and if we do, they're fun debates. We try to just keep it casual, have fun. It's all about
I
the
was gonna
vibe.
say that's the most important part is it's a great vibe. Like, there is really no toxicity at all that I've seen on there. It's really nice.
So
Yeah,
far,
fingers
so
crossed.
far.
Yeah, knock on some wood.
Yeah.
But today we're going to talk about. So I've been kind of doing this series. I don't know if you've seen the clips and stuff, but I've been doing this series where I have been rewatching the Percy Jackson series up until last week. I finished last week from On It. Snurdy Mamas came on last week. And we did the last two episodes of the Percy Jackson series. And now, since we're a week out from the Percy Jackson season 2 coming out, I thought that it would be a fun kind of idea to go back through the two, okay, no, the two just absolutely terrible movies that they put out.
Yeah,
And
they're rough.
yeah, so this is a very slight spoiler warning for the series that's coming out because the movies do kind of loosely follow the structure of the books.
Very
And
loosely.
yes, especially the last 30 minutes, but we'll get into that. Terrible. But we're gonna talk about the two movies, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief and The Sea of Monsters, and we're gonna kind of discuss them, compare and contrast them to the books a little bit, and then at the end we have a pretty fun draft that I cooked up a couple days ago. So we'll get into that at the end.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, I like to let my guests kind of start with their thoughts. So why don't you kind of just roll in? And this is an out of 10 podcast. So why don't you just give me your out of 10 ranking for Percy Jackson and The Lightning Thief?
The movie,
The movie.
-2.
Yeah. It's,
No, it's rough. It's very rough, especially if you're a fan of the original book. It just, everything out of context. There's so many issues. It's one of the worst adaptations I may have ever seen.
it's
Right up
pretty
there.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking back. I was 9 years old. I was at prime reading Percy Jackson age when Percy Jackson and the Olympians came out. And man, oh man, did that sour me on movie adaptations ever since that. Then I was pretty bummed out after coming out of that theater. And that was
Yeah.
right around the same time when Avatar The Last Airbender was coming out too. So
Yeah. I wanted to like it. I did. I wanted to at least think it was okay, but there's so many problems.
there are just so
It's
many problems. Yeah.
It's rough. I mean, ages, characters, appearances, the lack of a prophecy that the whole entire book series is based off of. I get that every single book in the 5 books is a standalone that furthers the main story. They all have their, contained stories, which it's so bad.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, Uncle Rick, the author, he's not my uncle, but it's running joke in the community that he's just Uncle
Yeah,
Rick.
yeah.
He just does such a good job of kind of mixing the self-contained book story with the overarching large story of the 5 book series and then inevitably into the sequel series and stuff. He does such a good job balancing that seeing it done so poorly on the big screen is honestly embarrassing because you have the roadmap.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like it's an original IP, which makes it even more embarrassing for them.
To And, again, there are some terrible adaptations out there. But just, I don't even know a better word than to just like pervert the main point of the whole story. I always like to tell people when I'm ranting about the movie, which I do frequently, imagine making a Harry Potter movie and not mentioning Voldemort.
Yeah,
Like,
literally. And also not mentioning, like, as an example, let's say that basically Draco is the main villain of the first movie. Like,
yeah,
because you don't even have the Quirrell stand-in, which is Ares, because Ares was just a pawn of Voldemort
which is
in
the
there.
one of the best fights of the whole book.
I mean, and the series has its own problems. Like the TV series has its own issues, and it's not perfect. But man, did that scene absolutely rock in the series? Like that was
Yeah,
one of the
yeah.
very best parts of the series was the fight with Ares, and they absolutely nailed it.
And I absolutely love Jason. I'm gonna butcher his last name, Manzukis,
Yeah,
as Mr. D. I think he was the best Mr. D that they could have gotten. He was so great.
I agree. He's excellent. Some of the other kind of positives, I don't want to completely rag on it because there are like 3 good things in this movie. I think that the opening 5 minutes is a very succinct way to set up the stakes that the bolt has been stolen and that Percy's in danger. I think the second thing is that they don't lie to Percy. They treat him more like an adult. Probably because he is an adult. He's an 18-year-old
Because
old adult.
he's got a pension.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's
But they do treat Percy more like an adult. They don't keep him in the dark and lie to him for another week or however long it goes on for in the series and in the books. And the other thing is that sending them to get the pearls is how they eventually escape the underworld. And
mhm.
sending them on the quest specifically looking for the pearls makes more sense than just happening onto them and like Poseidon giving them a way to get out of the underworld in the first place. Now, how they went about doing that and how they structured it is a little bit goofy and I don't like that. But giving them like sending them out with a hopeful idea of how to get out of the underworld does on the surface level make sense. Now it creates problems further down the road because you don't get the awesome interaction on the Santa Monica Pier and everything like that. But still,
Yeah, and there was the whole planning phase is completely pointless if you don't like the book. It just laid it out a lot better. It just made more sense. It was more linear. It was less guessing. And I know that the worst part about making a movie is everything is rushed, which is why I'm glad we're doing mini series now. But it was hard to watch.
it really is. And then uh, the Underworld is pretty good. The Lotus Casino scene is perfect. That was my other positive that I was looking for that I couldn't remember off the top of my head. The Lotus Casino is perfect. Like it
Yeah,
depicts the
yeah.
way
They did.
that that is just right. But like a lot of the other stuff, the way that Olympus itself is depicted, and then especially the ending where Percy has this big climactic battle with Luke, where like Luke is like flying around and using the lightning bolt, and Percy like summons a water trident and stuff. It's just so dumb. It's just
Yeah,
so bad.
it's Hollywood. It's definitely
Yeah, it's
Hollywood.
which I get, like, and I'll say this again at the end of the about the end of the second movie, but I get wanting to end your movie with a big climactic fight. But there already is a big climactic fight at the end of the book with Percy and Ares. And then there's another fight, another smaller fight between Percy and Luke at the very end. So like your movie doesn't lack for big climactic endings. So I don't know why they changed this one to meet it. Maybe because they were running out of time because they paced it poorly in the beginning. I can see that, but otherwise it doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah, they made a lot of suspect decisions in that movie. I think a lot has to do with the people who make the movie have to actually be a fan of the medium. And I feel like I'm not sure they read the book. I'm not sure any of them actually read the book. It's kind of like The
No,
Witcher. Like by season two, I'm like, I don't think they actually read the source material. Like, it's so terrible.
yeah, that's a huge problem. What What is something that absolutely drives you up the wall about this adaptation in particular? Like one specific thing. If you had to pick one thing.
If I had to pick one,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with. Uh, I really want to say their ages and the difference in all that, but honestly, just the lack of Chronos has a lot, and the prophecy itself. It just the lack of those two things really irked me because they're so pivotal to the story, and it just again, it's like having Harry Potter without Voldemort. It's like having, you know, him going, "Oh, what's the scar? Oh, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. It has nothing to do
It's
with
nothing.
anything."
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's not important at all. It's just an
I cut
aesthetic thing.
myself shaving my forehead, it's like,
Yeah. I mean, he is Harry Potter.
yeah, not anymore. Shaved it right off in a lightning bolt pattern.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So fun fact about Harry Potter that I'm a super Harry Potter nerd. The Potter family got, and you might know this already, but the Potter family got their money because one of their ancestors invented the Slick Easy's hair potion that Hermione uses in book 4. That's where
I
like their
didn't
vast amount of wealth comes from.
think I don't yeah, I think I might not have known that actually. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's just a fun little tidbit that I've found scouring Pottermore back in the day when that was a
That,
thing.
yeah, that was the go-to back then.
It really was.
They had
Yeah,
everything.
seriously. Well, any more thoughts on Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief before we move on to the one of the worst movies that I've ever seen, the movie that absolutely crushed me when I was younger as well.
I will give it was at least better than Sea of Monsters.
Yes, that is one of the main
That's
benefits.
really, I mean, it's yeah, no, that's the only thing I could think. It's better than Sea of Monsters. Like, my daughter, when she got to a certain age, wanted to watch it because she liked Logan Lerman, so she wanted to watch all his movies, and she made me rewatch them. And honestly, I blocked out so much of those movies that when I watched it, it just infuriated me again.
Yeah,
And
it's
so,
just
yeah, that's
yeah.
that's the biggest
Well,
thing.
let's dive into it. Let's relive the torture for just another little bit. Sea of Monsters is one of the worst. So there are people out in the world who enjoy the first Percy Jackson movie for just being a movie, especially if they're not Percy Jackson fans. There are some people who just enjoy it as a movie. The Sea of Monsters is a terrible movie and a terrible adaptation. It is absolutely like they have goofy catchphrases about nectar that suck. They have Tyson is a walking punchline.
And he's a terrible character.
And he's a terrible character. They do a fake out, like a huge fake out death, which they do a little bit in the book, but it's not as atrocious and it's not as
No.
silly. And then just the whole thing. It's just bad from front to start. Percy is a whiny little brat at the beginning when Clarice doesn't or when Clarice gets the quest instead of Percy, and it's this whole thing, and yeah, it just sucks.
How he meets Tyson is completely different. Like, because he already knew him. They were friends at the school in the book, weren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That Percy talked about how he had been like helping Tyson and trying to like get CPS involved because he had been living in an alley and like it's this whole long drawn out story about how Tyson was like also this abandoned child who had lived a really tough existence up to this point and it's a really sad story and in the movies it's just simplified down to oh yeah your dad wanted you to meet this kid.
And then I know, like, I'm not as versed in the movie because I've honestly can say I've only seen it maybe twice,
I rewatched it
maybe,
for this,
maybe once.
but that was all I could
But
stomach.
I think didn't the way so in the book, like you said, he was kind of grumpy about not being a part of the prophecy and the quest, and Clarice was given the prophecy. But in the movie, he's like part of her team,
Yeah, he's
isn't
he's
he?
like so he still gets left behind, but then Hermes comes and talks to him and is like, "You need to go," which is kind of similar to the book. But in the book, Percy's a lot more accepting of the fact that he isn't the one of the quest. He's like, "Yeah, like maybe this isn't me, but I still need to go find Grover. Like I'm sure that I'm going to get a quest to go find Grover eventually." And then Hermes shows up and is like, "No, you need to go because Clarice is not going to have three people on her quest. Like sure, her satyr is going to get captured, and so you and Annabeth need to boogie and go help her because she's gonna struggle in her whole quest. And so it really becomes this. It's about how plans do not work as we expect them to. It is about other forces and fate churning the world into the way that it's supposed to be.
In the movie, do they flesh out the Cersei scenes as much as they did in the book? I don't remember them being a very pivotal part.
No, I really don't think that it's. Do they even turn him into a hamster in the movie? I
I
can't
don't.
remember. I
I
wasn't
didn't
paying
think they
attention.
did, but
I don't think they do. That it has been like through trailers and stuff. It looks like it has been confirmed that Percy will be turned into a hamster in the series, and there's a whole episode set at Cersei's spa. So I'm so excited.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's Annabeth's time to shine. So
Exactly. Annabeth just absolutely rocks it. And it looks like they're doing the whole. So, one of the most egregious parts of this book is that they both set up Kronos, have the entire prophecy, the big prophecy, come
yeah, at
get
the
get
end,
introduced.
right?
Well, they introduce it in this book, which it doesn't get introduced until the fifth book, and then Percy is able to just like Luke wins and puts the golden fleece on Kronos, and Kronos comes back to life in this book, and then he eats Luke, and then he
Yeah,
and then Percy is just able to slice him up with his sword because allegedly his sword is the cursed blade from the prophecy in the movie. It's just so like from front to back, it's just dumb. The last 30 minutes of this is possibly the worst thing ever put to film. And then they had and then after wrecking the 5-book plot that Rick Riordan set up, they had the audacity to set up Thalia at the end of this movie like they ever thought that they were going to get a sequel. Oh, that
right.
pisses me off.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so dumb.
And yeah, that ending was and then, it's like the whole character of Percy's done wrong in both movies.
Yeah.
I don't he was never that brooding, smolder, pretty boy. He's like he is in the show. He's quippy, he's, quick-witted, he's, ADHD, he doesn't sit still, he's always talking. He's a
Yeah.
yappy kid. And
Yeah. And he has
yeah,
his moments where yeah, go ahead.
well, he'll throw some one-liners out there, but they just don't hit with that actor. I don't know. Maybe he's just
It's because
it didn't
he was
hit.
an adult.
Yeah.
Like I really think that it boils down to him being way too old. So that kind of childish humor that Percy has in the books and stuff
Yeah.
really just does not hit when it's being delivered to an 18 and then 20-year-old actor. Just does
Yeah.
not it doesn't hit. Like Grover's actor almost makes sense because Satyr's aged twice as quick. But do you know how when the first movie came out, Annabeth's actress was 24 years old.
Yeah, and she looked it.
She
I
was
mean,
like, yeah, it's crazy. I'm 24 years old. Like,
she looked a lot older than Percy. That's why it was kind of awkward with them
yeah,
trying to, the romantic line. It was, I don't know. She's very, very nice, very pretty woman, but woman,
yeah, woman,
not
woman.
not a girl.
No, exactly. Yeah. What's your ranking for this out of 10? Just real quick.
If I gave the first one -2, I'm gonna give this one -5.
Yeah, this is probably the only 1 out of 10. Like, this is a 1 or a 0 out of 10 for me. It's
Yeah,
just such a bad like, I don't think that there's a redeeming quality about this movie. Like, at least the first movie is vaguely entertaining at parts. Like, the part where they're fighting the Hydra in the first one is kind of entertaining because, they're at the model of the Parthenon in Tennessee. Like that they're entertaining parts in the first movie. This movie I am just sighing the whole time. Like I am physically like cringing the entire movie just because it's taking something that I loved, like a series that I grew up on, a series that I
yeah.
read, a series that I literally got for like I got the books as birthday presents basically every year when there was a new one that came out. It took a series that I love and still love because I'm still obviously talking about it and just bastardized it. Like it just took it and tore it apart. Yeah.
It's almost like yeah, there was nothing left of the story. It was rough. You didn't even like leave stuff out. You completely changed things.
Yeah. It's like and it's it would almost be reasonable to change or to leave out some of the plot in this book, especially in the first book, because it's kind of a dense book. And so it would make sense to kind of streamline that and to narrow it down and like to focus a little bit, which the first, like I said, the first 5 minutes does really well. It sets up the stakes really well. It sets up that Percy's the son of a Greek god really well. And it sets up that Percy is being blamed for stealing the lightning. That's all set up really closely and really tightly within the first 5 minutes. And then the bloat happens, and then it bogs it down, and then we get into stupid stuff in the middle there, which is, whatever. It's an adaptation, so you're gonna get that. But the second one, they just took what they took the story of the Odyssey told in a Percy Jackson series. They
A
took
series of pointless action scenes that don't even occur in the book.
Yeah, that are loosely tied together, but then they still lose. But then by changing the plot around even worse and tearing the power scaling of your book long, like it's like again, to compare it to Harry Potter, if at the when Harry fights uh Voldemort in the graveyard, if Harry just absolutely tears him to shreds in the graveyard,
Hmm.
like Harry arguably wins that fight, but if Harry just absolutely rips Voldemort a new one in that series or in that book, then that's kind of the equivalent. If Harry just absolutely puts Voldemort back into the ground in that fight, then that would be like what happens at the end of this movie. It's just atrocious.
Yeah, but only if he did it in the Chamber of Secrets,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
opposed to.
In the Chamber of Secrets, where to that point, he had only done like two spells in the books.
Yeah,
It's
and
just
he's, I'm glad they decided to make the show. I was scared the movies were so bad they wouldn't make a series.
I think that they were scared for a long time, but I am so glad that they are making the series. The series is really good. I initially, when I first watched it, I was pretty apprehensive about it and I was really busy. So I was like just kind of skimming it while I was watching it. And I did not like it very much when it first came out because of some of the surface level stuff that they changed. But the
Hmm.
series itself is really good. I think they have really managed to capture the heart and the spirit of the characters, and they kept most of the story the same. Like there's little stuff obviously because they're adapting it. Like the series is not a book, so it cannot be exactly the same, but
Yeah,
it is such a great adaptation, and I'm so excited for the next chapter to come out in 9 days.
yeah, and see, that's the thing is they've made a movie about the first two books. I'm ready for book three, book four, book five.
Yeah,
I want to,
yeah.
I want to see it all.
And they're still filming season 3 right now. But okay, well, I'm gonna dive into super spoilery stuff here for a minute, because I have a pitch. So if I were the Kevin Feige of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, I would be right now setting up Camp Jupiter, and I would be setting up some of the sequel series and stuff that go on. I would be doing a Magnus Chase movie, or I would be doing a
In
because
Chronicles.
do get my Kane Chronicles movies going, because they've been stuck in production hell for a long time. But
Yeah,
I would be getting that stuff rolling right now because you could build it up into this epic multi-series crossover because they do crossover.
yeah,
There are
yeah, and
where they cross over and stuff.
yeah. I think because it doesn't. I think it's the first five books, and then Kane Chronicles came out, and then Heroes of Olympus is the second one, right?
Yes, yeah,
And
yeah.
then we went Magnus Chase, right?
Huh.
And
And then the Trials of Apollo and stuff too.
yeah, and now we're at Percy trying to get into college, which is
Yeah,
fun.
which is yeah. People really hate those books. People really hate the Percy Jackson trying to get into college books. They really do not like
I
them.
have I have both of them. I don't think I've even read the second one. I tried the first one, and I just felt like I don't know, the lightning was out of the bottle a little bit.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't. It didn't capture me.
I like the Nico D'Angelo series that he's writing,
Yeah,
like the Court of the Dead, and I can't remember what the first one was, but that one was good.
yeah.
And I personally think that Trials of Apollo is the best thing that Rick Riordan has ever written.
I had a hard time getting into it but once I
Yeah.
did, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the first book's kinda hard to get through, honestly, but the 2nd through the 5th book are just so compelling, and he tells an excellent story of loss and love and how, like, the importance of platonic friendships and the cycle of abuse, like, he
Yeah,
tackled these, like, incredibly tough topics through this medium, and it's just done so masterfully and in a way that people can digest easily. So, here's my obligatory ad for the Trials of Apollo. I think I've done one in like the last 3 episodes that I've done just because I have reread them recently and I'm just like, man, these are so good.
they're great books, and it's very Greek to have a whole series about a god finding humanity in his own way.
Yeah.
You know,
And they're hilarious too. Yeah, and it's such a cool story to see this all-powerful being humbled, and it's an exploration of what humanity is, and that's always gonna be a great story to me.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I
Well,
I enjoy them too.
yeah. So, really quick, why don't you before we get into the draft, why don't you tell me a little bit about some of the other series that you like, and we can talk about any of those that you are wanting to talk about.
Just in general,
Yep, yep, just any
I
series.
mean, my personal favorite right now, of course, is Red Rising because,
Have
gosh,
Yeah.
it's emotional warfare.
Yeah. Have you read all of them?
Oh yes,
I I'm on Iron Gold right now, so no spoilers, please.
no spoilers.
I'm sure that it will.
I think the biggest thing from going from Morningstar to Iron Gold is the time skip transition, the multiple POVs. It's kind of like Percy Jackson, honestly, because you're only Percy in the first five, but in the Heroes of Olympus you swap up. And I remember reading the first book of the Heroes of Olympus, and it was like
It
at
starts
the
off with
end when
Jason.
yeah. And all his friends, and then, like you start to get introduced to people and then like at the end when I saw the title of the second book, I was like, Percy's back.
Here we go, baby. We're
Yeah,
so bad.
right, because what do they call him? They called him like the son of Neptune, maybe?
Yeah, yeah, the
And
son
I'm
of
like,
Neptune.
come on, it's gotta be the son of Neptune. But,
It's gotta
and
be
a lot of
Percy.
these fantasies,
Yeah,
sci-fi fantasy, they're all parallel in a way. It's hard to reinvent the wheel, but
yeah.
The I honestly think Pierce Brown and Rick Riordan both are they get better with every book. Like everybody rags on Red Rising after they read the whole series, but it's still a 5-star read. It might
I was
be the
gonna say
worst
it's
book,
still
but
great, but it's
yeah,
not
I
as good
mean,
as it's 5A, 5B, 5C, like, they're all still five-star books.
exactly. And it's the same with the first five of Percy Jackson, especially. Like it's like pick your favorite is almost like picking your favorite kid.
Yeah,
It's hard to do.
yeah. I I
Battle of the
honestly was
Labyrinth,
having
though, that's the best one.
Yeah, yeah, Battle of the Labyrinth is the canonical best of the first series. So, I'm glad that you said that because I was honestly having a little bit of trouble getting into Iron Gold. That's kinda been
It's
my
tough.
hang up. Yeah.
Is um and honestly, Iron Gold, you almost have to think of it as just like exposition and setup for the rest. Because Iron Gold, you're gonna meet new people, you're gonna switch to the multiple POVs, you're gonna dislike some of the characters you liked from the first three because they're gonna do some more adult stuff, and because they're
Yeah.
grown now.
Yeah.
But it all works out in the end. I promise you, by the end of Lightbringer, you're not gonna remember not liking Iron Gold. But honestly, Iron Gold was probably my least favorite of the books,
Yeah.
just
That's what
because
I've
I
heard.
went
I'm just
straight into it, and it was like total tonal shift. It gets more mature, but it's just so much.
Yeah, it's a I've heard it compared to, like, how much like, Game of Thrones starts off, like, fairly compact, like, there are multiple storylines and stuff going on, but then it like, once you get to, like, Way of Kings, it just explodes into this whole other world, and that's kinda what I've heard it compared to.
Well, and it's like I know that two of those books, I want to say it's book 3 and 4, are in the same time, but he had so many POVs going by that point that he had to have two separate books. So you have characters in one that aren't in the other because they're existing at the same time, but they're in a whole other book because there's just so much to be told.
Yeah, Dance of Dragons and A Feast for Crows take place over the same period of time, but it's
Yeah,
just
just from
some
different POVs.
yeah, it's crazy. And so technically this is a funny story. So Storm of Swords is like the last like full book that he wrote because
Hmm.
a way, the Way of Kings got too long, so he split it in half. And then he got to writing The Feast for Crows and it got too long. So he cut half of the POVs off and moved that into A Dance for Dragons. And so we're still waiting for the second half of the sequel to a book that was published in like the early 2000s.
Yeah, we're never gonna get it. I'm calling it now.
We're
It's
never
never
gonna get
happening.
yeah, we're never getting a when's a winner.
I
We'll get
honestly
them
think
when
he'll
he dies.
die.
Yeah.
Some, but then see that's a whole nother conversation because who writes it? Because if I had to pick somebody, I'd either go Pierce Brown because I'd like to see what he would do with fantasy, and he has
Hmm.
that kind of mature depth to him,
Yeah.
or John Glenn.
Okay. I love both of those. I was gonna say Brandon Sanderson because I'm a Brandon Sanderson stan, and because he's already
Yeah,
done it. He's already picked up a series and finished it out.
that's true. My thing with
It's
Sanderson is I just don't think he's dark enough
no,
sometimes. Like
he does not have the right tone
he's
for it
not as
at all.
ruthless as George R. R. Martin is. Pierce
No.
Brown is. Pierce Brown is
Pier-
that
Pier-
ruthless.
Pierce Brown would be honestly like my legit pick. I say Brandon Sanderson because I started off making Cosmere content, so that's kind of my go-to kind of thing.
See, now when you finish the three later Red Rising books, when you get through Iron Gold, Dark Age, and Lightbringer, you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Because the maturity in those is another level compared to it's almost like I always tell people, have you ever played the Batman Arkham games?
yeah,
You start out and you're here, and then game two, you're here, and then game three, you widen your scope. By Dark Age, you're in like a massive, space opera. You're not on Mars, because really he never leaves Mars in the first three.
yeah.
He does a little, but
He bounces out, but it's always he's always moving back towards Mars, like even when he leaves
yeah.
Mars.
And, he goes to the rim in the first one, and that's the whole kind of premise of the three books. I don't want to ruin anything for you, but, the Ganymede docks are a big selling point later in the series,
Yeah, I've
because
heard
you,
that's a
you
whole
did
thing.
genocide a lot of people,
Yeah,
so
yeah. War crimes, Daryl. You little rascal.
yeah. And Pierce Brown loves to like replace archetypes with the same. Like if you get rid of one character, there's another one to take their place. In my mind, like there's always got to be an obsidian. There's always got to be a blue. There's always
Yeah,
got to be certain golds. And oh man, I can't wait for you to finish those. There are characters I'm not even going to discuss who that I hated, I wound up loving. There are characters that I loved that I wound up hating. So much goes on. Like, I don't know how he does it. He puts so much in those books, and they get bigger every time you read them.
yeah, yeah. Well. You've officially sold me. I'm going to pick back up Iron Gold tomorrow. I've been off on a Cosmere reread for a little bit, but I'm gonna get back onto it.
Everybody laughs at me because I comment on anything I see that's Red Rising on TikTok. And if it's somebody who's on like Iron Gold or Morning Star, and they're like, "Oh my God, Pierce Brown just broke my heart. How am I going to live?" And I always use a Game of Thrones quote. I always go, "Oh, sweet summer child, you have no idea.
Yeah,
Winter is coming."
winter's coming. That's funny.
Yes, it's oh man, because Dark Age is emotional warfare. Dark Age
Yeah, I've
is
heard that.
an exhausting book. It's rough. And it's just, and that's his thing. And I give him credit for that because he he writes it. War is not fun.
No,
You know, it's not a
it,
glorification of war.
yeah, that's why he could do such a good job adapting. Like if he were to finish Game of Thrones, that's why he could do such a good job with it, is
Oh yeah, he
because
could pin those consequences.
he explores those same kind of themes as George Martin does. That war is hell, and that it's not fun for anyone.
Yeah. But I can talk about Red Rising all day. Let's say another series I'm really into is I loved the Aragon books, the Inheritance Cycle.
Yep.
I picked it up when I was pretty young. I'm definitely older than you, but I remember buying, I think we were on a vacation and my mom bought the first book in a HEB in Texas because she said I wouldn't stop talking. She wanted me to shut up. So she bought me a book. And it was, it's got the same storyline issues. People like to give it crud because it kind of does follow Star Wars in its own way. But I
Yeah.
mean, he was written by like a 19-year-old.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are you gonna do? That like all stories are the same stories, and it's just about telling them well.
Yeah, and I mean, the kid won the lottery. If you want to be a writer, the best thing you can do is be the son of two publishers. You
Yeah.
know, it's kind of it's a gimme at that point. But the books are fun. I reread them recently, and I had some issues I didn't have when I was younger with them. But then at the same time, like I get it. It's literature. Like when you get into have you read those books?
So I read them a long time ago, but it's been like that. That was back in the time where I was like reading every bit of fantasy that I could absolutely get my hands on, and I just tore through them in like
Yeah.
a really quick succession. So I really didn't internalize them. I actually kind of want to go back and reread them, but I just
Well, I
got
started
done
to reread
swimming through
because
the cosmere.
yeah, they're back there somewhere. The Murtaugh book came out, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna reread them. And I think I got halfway through the second one, which is Eldest, maybe, and I need to go back to it. But I think I started Red Rising or something, and I haven't looked back since.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say you got stuck.
Yeah, and Lightbringer put me in. I honestly can't remember ever having such a bad book hangover. Like I had a hangover with The Last Olympian because when you're done, you're like, and when I read The Last Olympian, it was new. I didn't have anything. It's kind of like when you were a kid versus binge watching now. Like I couldn't consume the rest. There was no Kane Chronicles. There was no
Hmm.
Heroes of Olympus. There was no Magnus Chase. So it was just over. And I mean, nothing else had even been mentioned. So you're just kind of like,
Yeah,
okay, do I
he
reread? What?
he didn't even know if he was gonna write more books after that, and then his publisher kept reaching out to him, and so he's like, "Okay, well, I had fun doing those, so I'll, like, do some research on some other stuff," and he researched the Kane Chronicles, and then those became bestsellers as well, and then he was like, "Well, I guess I'll revisit Percy and see what happens there," and he told another story, and yeah, it's
It's kind of hilarious we're doing this. Ironic we're doing this because my son and this, Rick Riordan told the story that when he first started coming up with these mythological stories, he was telling them to his son who was ADHD and dyslexic, and that's why you're a demigod. That's why you can't. And my son is both of those things. And he just told me today he started reading the books. He's 11. And he's like, Dad, we started reading Percy Jackson. And I was like, I was very excited.
yeah, that
Now I
that that
kind of
was
want to
just my
reread
yeah.
them
Yeah, that's
because
awesome.
he loved the show. We watched every episode of the show together. And the key to enjoying stuff like that, I think, is if you watch the show first and then you go into the books, it's more enjoyable because it's almost like expanding on something you already love. So,
Exactly.
you love
That's
the
how I've
show
had
and
to
now you just,
yeah,
that was my thing
that's
with
how
Game
I've
of
been
Thrones.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Because if you were the book reader and you read all the books, you have two things you're going to say. You're going to say, I knew that was going to happen, or you're going to say, that's not how that happened. So when they outpaced it, when Jon Snow sat up, I jumped up out of the chair. Like I
Yeah,
was thrilled. Because, in the books, he's still dead.
he's still dead. Yeah.
Yeah. So I pray they don't change that. I did like that part. Some stuff I really want them to change.
Yeah, no, I so there's so much foreshadowing about him coming back in the books and stuff earlier. I think that was one of the things that they did get from George about his sequels
Hmm.
and stuff was that John is in theory supposed to come back, but I think that he'll be very different in the like I think that he'll be more like his mom comes back. He'll be like a zombie
Oh,
or like
yeah. They missed
he'll be
that. That
like
was a.
yeah. Well, he was like exactly the same, and that's like George Martin is all about how like death changes you. Like his mom
Hmm.
or Catelyn, I guess not even his mom technically, comes back and she's a vengeful, murderous zombie. Like she's
Lady, was it
Lady
Lady
Stoneheart.
Stoneheart?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a great name. They
and she's
missed the
walking
boat on
around.
that.
Yeah, and she's walking around wearing Rob's crown, and she's hanging people. Like
And
she's one of the
yeah, she's
coolest parts.
gurgling because they slit her throat. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a missed opportunity for the show.
well,
But
and they cut out so much of the fantasy parts of it that they couldn't do that at that point. Like they'd cut out so much of the fantastical, like fun and magic of it that the dragons were the only like magical parts. The dragons of the White Walkers, but they missed so much of the small magic. They missed so much of the small magical
like the
parts.
faceless men,
Yeah,
like they never really like where their powers coming from. How are they able to do this? We don't ever really get that in the show.
Yeah.
And I mean, because you're replacing your face with, there's got to be some fantastical elements to that, right?
Yeah. Well, and they didn't include like the green men. Have you watched
hmm
House of the Dragon?
I started it, but I didn't. It was kind of like it didn't hook me. I need to go back. I
I
don't know
love
why.
House of the Dragon. So now I almost don't want to talk about it. I guess context kind of implies what I was talking about. But there's a moment at the end of season 2 where I was the Leonardo DiCaprio. Meanwhile, like,
Oh yeah, I
you know,
got that.
where
I got that.
yeah, yeah, where he's like pointing at the screen and it's
hmm
yeah, there's a part in there that's sweet. It's like one of the most like anime things that the show has ever done. It's awesome. Really quick before we jump into kind of the last part of our show tonight, if you had to see Red Rising adapted into any medium, what would you want it to be? Like what medium would you want it adapted into? And who would you want to like if you have any fan casts or if you have a director who you want to do it, who would you want to see do it?
Honestly, I think it would be done best if they did like they've done like Castlevania and the Devil May Cry anime. I want them to give it to Adi Shankar and let him do an animated version that's anime themed, because it's not per se anime, but it's
Yeah, no.
very rooted in the anime.
Hmm.
It's so fantastical. It's hard to picture them trying to do it in real life.
Yeah.
I think about like Lord of the Rings and how they managed to do size differences and like, because I'm a Lord of the Rings nerd too, but like John
Oh yeah.
Rhys Davies was naturally taller than all the Hobbit actors, so they didn't have to do those weird shots where they do the
Hmm.
distance shots to make them look
Yeah.
small and
Yeah.
short. So
Yeah. Yeah. The
if
force
I had to do a
perspective stuff.
movie, yeah, if I had to pick a movie, I'm sorry, my dog is scratching on the door. He's mad.
No, you're fine.
It'd be tough. What is Dennis Villanueva would be do pretty
Uh,
good. He did Dune
uh,
pretty well.
I was about to say, Denis Villeneuve is my pick for a live action director. If he
See, you know how to
can
say his
adapt
name way better
Dune,
than me. He,
yeah, if he can adapt to the unadaptable Dune, then I think that he could probably do Red Rising.
oh yeah, and Dune is so devoid of color. I would want Red Rising to be the opposite. I would want it to be like overly colorful and overly
Which I think
fantastical.
yeah, which I think he could do. I think that he did that on purpose so that when you get a little bit of color and stuff, it pops
Oh
and it
yeah, yeah,
shines and stuff. And Dune itself is supposed like in the books it's supposed to be that way. Whereas when you get this little bit of color, it pops. And I think that if he did Red Rising, I think that he would make it colorful. Like he has some earlier films and stuff that are colorful and vibrant and stuff. So I think that he could knock it out of the park.
yeah. I mean, but fan casting, like honestly, if I was cherry picking, like for example, we'll say Darrow, I see Brad Pitt from Troy.
Yeah.
When the Achilles look, I feel like that was very Darrow-y. It's got kind of a Darrow attitude. Other characters, they'd be tough. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
who do you pick for
it's
Ragnar,
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like do you a Vikings actor, I guess.
right? It would have to be somebody massive. I mean, you'd almost
Huge.
have to get the guy who played the Mountain to play it.
Yeah, yeah, or the guy who's playing Duncan the Tall.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one.
I'm so
I
excited for
said
that
it.
show.
Yeah, I told somebody a tale of Dunk and Egg the other day, and they were like, "What? What is that?" I was like, "You'll see soon."
Yeah, you'll know all about it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's time that we pop over into our game. For today's game, we are going to be drafting the three best and the three worst movie adaptations or TV adaptations or anything. So these have to have started off as a book, a comic book, and a manga, anything. And we're picking our three best and our three worst, and we cannot have the same one as each other. So once one gets picked, they
Okay.
are off the board.
Okay. I got a lot of good ones and bad ones, so
And
well, I have more bad ones than good ones.
I have a lot of bad ones, but there are a few good ones, and you can go in any order. So you can pick a bad one, a good one, a good one, a bad one. All pick all your bad ones, pick all your good ones. However you want to do it, and we'll do a snake draft. So I'll let you pick first, and then I'll pick two, and then you'll pick two, and we'll go on until we're done.
Okay. Oh, let's see. To pick Percy Jackson seems too on the head at this point, so I'm gonna go my first worst adaptation, the Dragon Ball movie.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a top tier
It's
bad
terrible.
adaptation. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah. For my first pick, I will go with one of the best adaptations of all time. I'm going to go with the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings films.
It's a good choice.
And then for my bad, I'm going to go with a movie that is uniquely bad because it tries so hard to be a good adaptation, but it is just such a bad movie. It was I'll tell the story, and it's very similar to stories that I've heard a lot of other people tell. This was the first movie that when I came out of the movie, I was like, "Oh, so movies can be bad. This can be like I can go to the movie and this wasn't like the greatest movie of all time." And that is Avatar: The Last Airbender adapted into the live
Yeah,
action. The M. Night Shyamalan one there is just terrible.
yeah,
On
that was on my list.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Are you the Avatar on?
yeah. They did. They tried so hard. He did, and it's rough. It is
Yeah.
bad.
I didn't even watch the Netflix version of it because I just
It
could
was
not bring
actually pretty good.
I've heard that. I can't I can't do it.
It wasn't terrible. It was good. It was good. It was not amazing. They got the tone wrong. The best part about Avatar was it pretended to be a kid show, but it had a lot of seriously adult elements to it.
Yeah.
And they did that so well because Aang was always such a goofball and Sokka was a goofball. They try to do that in the show. It's just hard to do in live action. You know, cartoons are
It just
cartoons
doesn't
for a
fit
reason.
live action. Yeah, it's just not
Yeah,
a good choice to adapt, even though it's such a great show. It's just not a good choice to adapt into live action.
yeah. I'm gonna go two good ones.
Okay.
And actually, I'm gonna piggyback off the Avatar or the Last Airbender or whatever you want to call it, because I think in the movie's the Last Airbender, right? And then
Yeah.
anyway, first I'm gonna go with something they did live action that I actually really enjoyed, and that was One Piece. I thought they did the One
Yeah,
Piece
yeah.
adaptation really good.
No,
I
it's so
enjoyed
good,
it a
and they
lot
can they can cut some of the 1,000 episodes of filler out of it too.
on the 10,000 episodes that they have.
Yeah, exactly.
And my other one, my other good one, I'm gonna have to say I was shocked how much I loved it, and I still do, and that's Deadpool. I thought Deadpool was a very good adaptation.
They did Deadpool so well. Oh, it's so
Yeah.
good.
It's like Ryan Reynolds is now synonymous with the character.
Yeah, I mean, he just is that. Like, even in his commercials and stuff that he does, I feel like he's still just doing a Deadpool pool impersonation in
He
his commercials for Mint
he was
Mobile and stuff.
made for that role. Like he was
Yeah,
born to play that role. Just a
yeah.
smarmy you want to smack him in the mouth half the time because he's just pure sarcasm, and he can't turn it off.
No,
It's yeah. That's what I think he's Deadpool in every movie. He just doesn't wear the mask.
yeah, exactly. Well, I'll tell you a movie that he is not for my second bad pick. He is not Deadpool in Green Lantern.
No, no. Oh my
And and
That movie caused me so much rage.
I love
Oh,
I love Green Lantern is one of my favorite characters in the comics because he's all about willpower. He
hmm
defeats people by pure force of will, and that is that is right up my alley. And oh man, is that movie bad. And oh man, am I
yeah.
so excited for the Lantern show that's coming out. I think it's this year, isn't it? Doesn't the Lantern show come out this year?
It's supposed to, yeah. And isn't
Yeah.
John Stewart the head lantern in this one?
Yes. Yes, and
Okay.
he, and supposedly it's like a true detective show. Like, it's like
I did read that like a crime solving kind of.
yeah,
Well, I mean,
which is
they are space cops, so
I was about to say that's what the Lantern Corps is, so I'm excited for that.
my favorite thing about the Green Lantern was always that you have Hal, you have Kyle, you have John, and you have Guy,
Guy, yeah.
and they're all have their manifestations or whatever you want to call them are all kind of based on their, like Hal's a pilot, he's super cocky, he likes to throw airplanes and bombs and make giant
Yeah.
guns. And Kyle's an artist, so his stuff's more abstract. Contractor or an architect, isn't he?
Yeah, so
And
I think
so
so,
he
yeah.
does construction stuff.
Mhm.
Guy's just Guy, he's just kind of a
And
jerk.
and guys hitting people with middle fingers and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, which it fits.
Yeah, it's very him.
Okay,
One
so
of
you got Green Lantern as your bad.
Yeah, and then I'll go with Oh man, what's another? You know what? I'm gonna go with an adaptation that they do not and did not need to make another one of, and that is the Harry Potter series. As much as I don't like the last movie in the Harry Potter series because of some changes that they made right at the end with the Voldemort fight and stuff, the first 5 books and even honestly the first 6 books are adapted perfectly to screen. It is just some of the best adaptation work that we've ever seen, and the Harry Potter series is my second good pick.
Gotcha. Well, that means it's my turn, right? Let's
Yep,
see.
yep, yep. You get to do 2 more.
So I got Deadpool and One Piece as my good, and my first bad was, oh, what was my first bad? Okay, well, I didn't say this one, but I'm gonna say it. My
Okay.
next bad is Aragon.
But yeah, yeah. That's a tragically bad adaptation.
Yeah. Oh, Dragon Ball was my first
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Dragon
Dragon
Ball
Ball.
and Aragon.
Okay.
And yeah, no, Aragon was right up there with Percy Jackson, like as one of my favorite books to be. Like the movies, especially the Percy movies, had so much star power.
Yeah,
And Aragon too, like it was so mishandled. Everything was jumbled. The story didn't make any sense. It was all over the page. And supposedly they're going to make a series for it like they did Percy Jackson. Christopher Polini, however you say his name, recently said that it's still very much alive. So I'm
that's
hoping they
awesome.
do it like they did Percy Jackson because it deserves to be told in a better way.
Yeah, I think that more of these book series need to be adapted in TV shows instead of movies because they are meant to be these sprawling, long form things, and it's hard. Like you lose so much when you adapt them into a movie. Even with how much longer movies are now, like we're getting more 2+ hour movies, it's still so hard to fit everything from a great novel into a movie. That's why Dune got split up. That's why.
Yeah. And so, okay, so I got my two and two. I got one more. Do I want
Yep.
to go good or bad? It's tough. Another good adaptation. I'm gonna say Dune. I thought Dune was a really good adaptation.
Oh man, there goes my last pick. I'll have to think of something else.
See, my bad.
Yeah. Oh no,
It's
you're
hard to get
fine.
some good ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I loved the movies. I loved the actors. I thought everything was pretty on point.
Yeah, I love Dune. This is a funny story. Me and my wife went and saw Dune Part 2 in the theater like 4 or 5 times when it came out just because it was just so good. We had only been dating for a couple months at this point, but we just we like going to the movies anyways, but we just kept going back because it's an experience. Like when the nukes hit, when they're riding in on the sandworms, like it is just such a rallying all of the Fremen, and like it's just such a powerful movie, and it speaks to the power that religion holds and the power that it is when it's misused, and like it's just the themes, the plot, it's all the best of the Dune book without some of Herbert's weirdness that he throws in there.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say it filters out a lot of oddities.
Yes, yes,
Um,
exactly.
I remember when I first read Dune, it was not for me. Like I
No,
was not
Dune
ready
is
for
hard to
adult
read.
sci-fi.
Yeah,
It is, it is. But like Dune and the Avatar movies, like they're just kind of made for the theater.
yeah, they are meant to be seen in.
Yeah, you can see them on the TV, but they just don't hit the same. And like, I mean, the Avatar 3D movie was the best 3D film ever made. Because he spent something like $9 million to make his own camera
Yeah,
just
I
for
mean,
that.
he's done an amazing job with that. And so for my last good adaptation pick, I'm going to pick a movie that is not out yet. I'm going to pick Christopher Nolan's Odyssey, that comes out
I
this
have
next
high
year.
hopes.
A movie shot completely on IMAX by Christopher Nolan, adapting one of the greatest stories in history with all of the star power, with all of the resources put behind it, coming off of Oppenheimer. I just cannot see this movie not absolutely knocking my socks off. I love Epic the musical. It's so good. The Odyssey itself became my obsession in high school after I read Percy Jackson.
Hmm.
While I was waiting for more Percy Jackson stuff to come out, I read and reread the Odyssey. I just cannot see myself not absolutely falling in love with the Christopher Nolan Odyssey movie.
Let's see. Do I have a good left? If I don't have a good left, I have a good story. I don't think. I
No,
think my last pick has to be a bad. But have
you
you
just said
ever
no.
seen the movie Oh Brother Where Art Thou is based on the Odyssey?
I love Oh Brother Where Art Thou. I love.
It's
I watched it a week, like less than 2 weeks ago,
yeah, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love that movie. But
and
and it sticks true to the story.
yeah, and like she comes home, or he finally gets home, and she's like, he's a suitor. Like if
Hmm.
that's not one of the most hilarious Odyssey references of all time, it's just
Yeah. Yeah. And
and the
John Goodman
Cyclops, and
as
yeah,
Polyphemus. Yeah.
yeah,
Using religion too, same thing.
yeah, and the sirens and like all of it.
Loved him up and turned him into a horny toad.
Hey, it turned him into a horny toad. We thought you was a frog.
My favorite line in that whole film, I think, is when they're arguing over what to do and they both look at Delmer and he goes, they're like, whose side are you on? He goes, you know what? I'm
I'm with
with you,
you.
fellers.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
My family always quotes the a third of a gopher line when
Oh
they're
yeah.
talking about that. When someone offers you something that's just a little bit of a snack, but you're really hungry, you always say, "No, a third of a gopher would only excite my appetite without any hope of calming it back down.
I don't want fop. I'm a Dapper Dan man.
I'm a Dapper Dan man."
Uh-huh. That's I yeah, I also like to do that whole gopher thing, but when he gets baptized, he goes, "I'm redeemed. I've been saved." He goes, "Like that Piggly Wiggly I knocked over." And this, I thought you said you didn't do that. Well, I lied, and I got forgiven for that too.
So funny. Every bit of that movie is just hilarious. Like the sirens, and I love country and like folk music. It's what I listen to besides when I'm not listening to Has Been Hotel and Epic the Musical lately. But I love like country and folk music. It's what I normally listen to. And so the music in it is just so compelling. I mean, just the I like it. Like everything from Down to the River to I'm a Man of Constant Sorrow. Like every song in it
Oh
is just
yeah,
so good.
Sweet Rock Candy Mountain, all of them are
Yeah.
great songs.
Yeah. I think I have one pick left, and then you get to round us out with your last pick. So for my
Gotcha.
final bad adaptation, oh man, what's the worst adaptation that we have left? I'm gonna go with the old Super Mario Brothers movie. Have you seen it?
You know, the funny thing is, I'm 40 in my 40s. I remember when that came out, and I didn't hate it. Like
And
everybody hates it. And like as watch it as an adult, it is pretty bad. It's a terrible movie. But I just remembered, I think maybe it was the company I'd watched it with or something.
yeah,
It was no, but it is bad. Don't get me wrong, but it's like bad in a good way for me. Like
yeah,
it's cheesy.
it's one of those movies that's bad in just the right way. I love all the Saw movies, and that's probably to do with who I watched it with and that whole deal. But I think that every one of the Saw movies is great, and I know that
Yeah.
a bunch of them are bad movies, but I just yeah,
I'm that way with the Fast and the Furious movies. All it has to have is Fast and the Furious in the title, and I'm going to watch it. It doesn't have to make a lot of sense. It's like Dungeon Crawler Carl. I tell people Dungeon Crawler Carl is like the Fast and the Furious of the book franchises.
yeah,
Don't think so much about it. Just enjoy yourself.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
have
yeah.
fun.
Just you're
It's
just along
just
for the
good
ride.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And by movie 6 or 7, Dom is pretty much a superhero. I mean, he can fall 6 stories and not tear his shirt.
yeah,
It's
it's
the
fine.
man's white shirt is like its own character by now. He wears that white shirt. You could throw oil at him and it just bounces off of him.
Man, that's
And
awesome.
throwing a car at a helicopter, like physics be damned, right?
Yeah, yeah. Who needs physics? Not me.
Yeah, it's so overrated. Okay, so my last pick is a bad adaptation, and I have to say it's a movie my kids loved, and I hate it so much. It's The Cat in the Hat. Have you ever seen The Cat in the Hat movie?
Yes, it's so creepy. It is like
It's
disturbing.
cringy.
Yeah,
Yeah, and overtly sexual, oddly adult. It
yeah.
did not work for me at all. It was
I'm
horrible.
out on the Cat in the Hat. Yeah, that is such a bad movie.
Yeah, and it was, yeah, no, it's tough. It was tough. There's so many bad ones. I try to give a lot of them grace, but it's hard to, it's hard to like a adaptation if you really liked the original at all.
Yeah. Exactly. It's hard to do, and so that's why some of these good adaptations are so great, and why I wanted to praise them while we were also talking about some of the bad adaptations. Is some of these adaptations are such feats of collaboration and movie making or TV making, and turning such beloved stories into things that we do love. And I just want to say thank you to all the filmmakers who have done such an amazing job on making the good ones, and curse on your families to all the ones who have done bad adaptations.
We're talking to everyone involved in the Percy Jackson movie franchise.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Go
Man.
back and read the book. You
Yeah.
missed the
Yeah.
point.
You have been sentenced to 30 years of the only things that you can read are the Percy Jackson books.
Right. All right. Straight to the fields of asphodel.
Exactly. And your punishment is whenever you pick something up, it is a copy of Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief or the Sea of Monsters.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
I hope that they do Tantalus in this.
Right. That would be great. He was a great character in the book.
Yeah, yeah, a nice like secondary antagonist for the series that I really do hope that they do him. I think that he's fun.
Yeah. And that's my thing about the Battle for the Labyrinth. To see Daedalus, I'm ready for that.
Yeah, I'm so ready for the, especially the third book, because I feel like that really expands kind of the lore of Percy Jackson, where it's just like feels so much bigger. Like the Hunters of Artemis get added in, and like all of the amazing stuff that they do in book three is just I'm
Oh
so
yeah.
excited. Oh, I'm getting excited just thinking about it.
Yeah, honestly, book three is a close second too, because I didn't even think about that because that's the Titan's curse, right?
Yeah, yeah. And
And
where
yeah,
Percy holds the sky, where Percy and Annabeth,
yeah,
yeah,
yes.
it's so good.
I was gonna say, and has to hold up the whole planet for a little while. That was good. What was it? Was it Zoe? Zoe was her name?
Yeah, yeah, Zoe
She was a
Nightshade.
great character.
He was a
Yeah,
great
she was a
character,
great
yeah.
character. And then, we further the story because is it the end of the third book that Talia joins the Knights of Artemis?
Yes, it is, yes, because she's
Yes,
about,
because it's after Zoe dies, right?
yeah, yeah,
I'm
so
dropping
Zoe,
spoilers for whoever didn't read the
I
books.
I I said spoilers at the beginning of this. We're blanket covered. We're still under that.
Okay, good.
But yeah, 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 so Thalia is about to turn, 16, and she's about to be the child of prophecy, but then she
Hmm.
takes the oath, and so she dodges out of the way, so it
Never
has to be
ages.
Percy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she hits him with the sorry, bud, it's got to be you.
Sorry, it's you. And then Percy vaguely thinks about doing something similar to Nico, of staying on Ogygia in the next book and not worrying about the
Hmm.
prophecy and letting it be Nico. But he's like, nah, I can't do that to Nico. Nico's already been through enough, so he gets back in there.
I don't think Nico would have had the fortitude to
I think
survive the Battle of New York
I
or
think Nico would
Manhattan
have
or whatever
turned.
they called it.
Yeah, I think Nico would have turned into a villain. So
Yeah.
so I've been doing my, spoiler alert for anyone who, watches my content on TikTok, for kind of my roadmap ahead. So I've been doing this Dark Percy series where I've kind of been exploring a timeline where Percy's mom didn't survive the Battle of New York, and I've been kind of going through that, and like how Percy's story would change in the coming years and stuff. And the next one that I'm gonna do is if Percy stayed on Ogygia and Nico was the child of the prophecy.
That would be. It's a pretty big what if. I think he would have let the world fall. He
Yeah.
would have
Well
destroyed the planet.
well, he was still under Midas's, like, thumb at that point, and if Percy
Hmm.
isn't there to do it, then I think Midas manipulates him, and, it turns into this whole crazy deal. I'm still kind of planning it out and plotting it out, but I'm excited for that one to come out eventually.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah. My last kinda question for you is, have you read The Cosmere?
I have not.
So, I would like to implore you, please, if you I would love for you to either read Mistborn or the Stormlight Archive, one or the other, because they are just some of my absolute favorite books. And if you like Red Rising, I think Mistborn is probably a better jumping off point for you, because it's a heist story. Like it's a
Hmm.
fun heist story about fun physics and magic systems. I think you would really enjoy it after what you're reading right now. but I would really implore you to get into the Cosmere because it is just so much fun. I have had so much fun reading the Cosmere.
The first book mail I ever got was actually The Final Empire, so the
Yeah,
first Mistborn, right?
yeah,
And
that's
my
the first
friend
Mistborn book.
Shane, shout out to Shane, sent it to
Hey,
me because he's
Shane.
a big Cosmere guy.
I was gonna
So
say Shane's one of my mutuals.
yeah,
He's sweet. Yeah,
and yeah, he sent me that, and I started reading it, but I think I was right after Lightbringer, and I was still in that hangover mode.
yeah,
And there's a lot of times I'm a very hectic reader. Like I'll pick three books and I'll read the first few chapters, and then whichever one catches me the most is what I wind up
yeah,
going with. Which is why I'm still only I'm only four books into Dungeon Crawler Carl, because every time I read one, I pick up another series for some dumb
yeah.
reason.
No, I get it. That's how I've been with Red Rising. After I finished Morningstar, I blazed through. So like I mostly listen to audiobooks just because I don't have a ton of time to just sit down and read books. So like I spend like at least an hour a day driving, and so I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Well, I blazed through like all the way to Morningstar in like 2 weeks just because
Yeah.
I could not stop listening to them and stuff when I was doing stuff.
Did you do the dramatized or did you do TG?
I did TGR.
Dramatized, actually, I'll say this because I get a lot of flack for this, but TGR is a better Darrow,
Hmm.
but the dramatized version is so theatrical. It has sound effects, a full cast. It's a lot of fun. And Severo's voice, I forget his name, but whoever does Severo's voice in the dramatized audio is just, it's awesome.
Yeah, I wanted to get through the first three first, and then I might go back and listen to the dramatized. But I have to get through the rest of the series before I go back.
Yeah. Because, and they're not even done with the dramatized version. I think
No,
they only have the first third of Dark Age out so far,
yeah,
which
that's all that
really
I've.
irked me because swapping to TGR from doing the dramatized version, it was rough.
Yeah, I bet it was.
But TGR does those Darrowisms better than whoever. I think his name's like Stuart Crank or something like that, which he's great. He's a good Darrow, but he's a Kmart version of TGR. TGR
Yeah,
is just, he's got that
I was gonna say the monologues and stuff are just unreal with TGR. There's a reason
oh
that
yeah.
there's a reason that all the TikTok clips and stuff are of him doing Daryl lines.
And like the iconic Dark Age line, which is probably not a spoiler because if you have TikTok, you've heard the line. But when he's doing that, I would have died for
Yeah,
the thought that every man was created equal. And in the land of fire with blood everywhere, he's like, there is a king, and it is not named Loon. His name is Reaper.
his
I'm like,
name is Reaper.
yes, that's great,
Or simply the Reaper sails to Mars is such a hard line when
right?
he says it. It's
And
just
he calls for an
and it
iron
calls for
rain.
an iron rain.
Yeah,
Makes me want to go to war. Makes me want a
yeah.
lightsaber.
Or the was it his Golden Sun, the gala or whatever.
Yeah.
And when he's walking across the table talking smack to Cassius.
Yeah, oh man, it is just so good. You could not or he's talking about all the people who couldn't kill him too. That part is so good.
Oh yeah,
Or even his reading of Ragnar is so good and so heartbreaking. I'm still not over it. Ragnar Valaris supremacy.
yeah, yeah. Well, even Pax dying was rough
Yeah,
in Red Rising.
yeah,
I say all the time, Pierce Brown's he hates big people.
yeah. He does not
All the
like
big
the.
characters just get butchered. It's terrible.
Oh man, oh, that's funny.
The most underrated death is Tactus.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Tactus
would
is.
love to have seen Tactus fight his brother because
Yeah,
Apollonius he's gonna blow your mind in the next few books.
I was gonna say I'm so excited.
He's a great character, but he's Pierce Brown character. So
Yeah,
as much as you love him, you hate him. He's good at morally gray areas. So
I
I'll give him that.
I was gonna say he does villains like the Jackal is such an incredible villain, but then he does like even Darrow is morally gray. Even Severo is more morally gray than anybody. Like
Oh
they're
yeah,
all war criminals.
absolutely. And Severo just any war crime he can commit, he's down for it.
He's right there for it. Him backflipping off to hang himself is just so crazy too. It's so funny.
Right? Yes. My name is Severo Albarca, and I am no longer afraid. That's a
Yeah,
great line too.
yeah. And man, I just love how it's all like Roman and like Carthaginian themed.
Hmm.
Like Hannibal Albarca is one of my favorite historical characters.
Oh yeah,
And so
mine
and
too.
yeah, and so just seeing, like, all of the references to actual history and everything and seeing them play out, like, even the little details, like how they had Roke telling Darrow in his triumph parade, "You are a mortal man and you can die." Like, that's a real thing from Roman history that they would have the
Oh yeah.
like the friends of the generals do. And it's just little details that make Pierce Brown so compelling as an author.
Oh, and he's a big nerd too. Like, I can't remember if I'm pretty sure it's further in the books, but like Mustang's flagship is called the Deja Thoris, which is the Princess of Mars from the Edgar
Yeah,
Rice Burroughs books.
yeah,
And so, those little Easter eggs I love.
yeah. Well, and if you know a little bit about Roman history and stuff, you can kind of see some of the twists coming a little bit because of the names of stuff and because of the names of people and stuff. Like you can almost see some of the twists, but then he also takes and he twists them on their heads and stuff. So
He makes you think he's going to go one way and then he'll go the
yeah,
opposite.
yeah, it's
Like, I
so
remember reading it and somebody put on purple, and I'm like, never wear purple. Did you not read a history book? Never wear purple.
yeah.
Did Caesar not teach y'all anything?
Yeah, seriously. The man thought he was just a little bit of a god and he got stabbed a bunch of times. What do you think is gonna happen to you people who claim to be God?
And by his own friends. That's the worst part.
Yeah. The Caesar Darrow parallels in like at the end of Iron or at the end of Golden Sun are just so great. And to see like that twist absolutely caught me by surprise. Like I didn't have any of that spoiled for me. And so I was like, oh man, this is such a sweet way to end this book. Like we'll go into the next book and it will be a battle against the against the rest of it. And then the ending happened and I was like, oh
He's got to be one of the only people who wrote an entire book and then just set his own plot on fire.
yeah. I mean, it's just like
He built a house and then just burned it down. I
and,
was infuriated by the ending.
yeah, well, it's just like, okay, so how's he gonna get out of this spot? This is crazy.
All right.
Yeah. And
And
then
the
seeing
funny thing
Hero
is, like, Roman language and stuff. Do you know Darrow's whole name is the sword, or is the spear of the wolf is how it translates.
yeah,
So I
it's
always thought that was neat.
I think that just the little details in Red Rising are some of my absolute favorite things about it. I mean, it's just
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And then you mix the space nerd in with it. Like, I just finished Project Hail Mary, which I love. Great book. But it's
I'm waiting to see the movie before I read the book on that one because I loved Martian so much that I went and read the book, and so I've decided to do Project Hail Mary in the same order.
yeah, well, The Martian is one of my favorite movies of all time. So I did the same thing.
Unless that was on my list for a
Yeah.
good
Oh
adaptation
yeah,
too.
that
That's
is a great
World Man.
adaptation. Yeah. And so I'm I'm anxious because I just finished the book day before yesterday, and I didn't watch the trailer specifically for that. And so, of course, naturally, I was like, well, this is a little different, and this is a little different. They kind of they put a lot out there in the trailer. Like, a lot of the
Yeah,
stuff in the trailer is stuff from like the end of the books.
yeah, I haven't watched any of the trailers. I'm trying to avoid them before I go into it because the Martian, I did the
See,
like I had no
that's how I'm
idea
doing the
going into it.
Odyssey. I don't want to
Yeah,
watch. I don't want to watch any more Odyssey trailers. I saw the
no,
first one. I want to go in blind.
yeah, I'm the same way. I listen to like a lot of like I don't know if you ever listen to like the like Aaron Dicer from what is his podcast called? He's one of the uh Cinema Sins guys.
Okay.
And it's his podcast, but like he's a big no trailers guy. Like he doesn't watch any trailers for anything before he goes into movies. And I kind of wanted to start doing that. And I did that for Superman, and it was one of my favorite things that I've ever done. And I did that,
Oh yeah.
and I did that for like The Martian back in the day. That was by accident, but like for Superman, I really tried not to watch the trailers and stuff. And so I'm really trying to do that a little bit more.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, that talk about another great adaptation. Superman absolutely knocked my socks off. I love
Right.
Superman.
The Dark Knight
Yeah,
also, because it's such a great movie all on its own. It's almost like a caper, like it's not even a superhero movie for most
yeah.
of the time.
I was gonna say it's almost not a good adaptation. It's just a great movie because it's
Yeah,
like
all on its own.
in a lot of cases it's just a great story, and that's what's so fun
Yeah,
about it. Yeah.
it is. It's great.
Yeah. Well, I think that might wrap us up for the night. We're running just a little bit long, but that's fine. I have had such a great time talking to you, Brandon, and I hope that I can get you back on the podcast sometime because this has been so much fun just yapping about books and about movies and stuff with you. Do you want to shout out?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you want to shout out where all the people can find you?
Yeah. So my TikTok handle is Kuyon Reader, which is Couyon, and hit me up on there. I can give you a link to our Discord. Our Discord is called the Lore Masters. I'd love to give anybody an invite that wants to get in there and just chop it up with some people that have similar likes and have a good time. That's what we do.
Yeah, it's super fun. Shout out to the Discord. I'm also in it, so I can send anyone who wants a link. Just let me know. Be sure to follow me. Be sure to follow the podcast for one. At the Oracle Podcast on YouTube, anywhere podcasts are cast. If you are trying to choose where to listen, go listen on Spotify. That helps the podcast out the most. And be sure to give us a rating wherever you're listening, whether it's on YouTube. Be sure to hit us a like and be sure to subscribe. Be sure to follow us on TikTok at the Oracle Podcast and be sure to follow my personal page at Casey Budd on Instagram. I post a lot of funny stuff about my regular life and my boring day job on there. But uh, be sure to follow Brandon. He's been super fun. His TikTok is super fun to watch. I went through for like an hour today and just watched back through a bunch of your TikToks, and your edits are awesome. Your shout outs are fun. I really just enjoy your TikTok. So big shout out to
Well,
you.
thank you.
And yeah, of course, man. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been the Oracle Podcast, and this has been your prophecy.